Hey everybody, welcome to Good Day Farm. Hope everyone had an excellent week, and I hope you had a great day today. I hope every day is a great day for you. Things have been pretty busy and pretty exciting stuff happening around here finally. Uh, the weather's definitely improving, so we've been able to get outside and take care of some of those projects that we've just had to wait for the weather to change to do. So, first thing on my mind that I want to address as far as the community we have here, broke past the 200 subscribers slash friends, if you will, on the channel. I'm pretty excited about that. I know, it's not about, you don't do the videos, I don't do the channel and all that kind of stuff about the numbers. It's not about, how big I can get it. But at the same time, you'd be lying if you said it didn't mean something to you to see those numbers grow. So, obviously, you know, it hits a special place just to know that people are taking the time to watch the videos, to subscribe to the channel so that they potentially get notified when a new video comes up and things like that. So the fact that someone hits subscribe means a little more than just a view, because a view can really be anything. It can be a few seconds or it can be the whole video. Subscribing means it's gonna potentially show up in their not news feed, but their home page, and they'll get notifications possibly if they turn on the notifications, that kind of stuff. So anyhow, pretty excited to see that. So thank you to all of you. Every one of you, the people that have been here from the very beginning, and everybody that's come on board since then, you're the reason we keep attracting more and more people. And it would appear to me that the people that are being attracted to this community are quality, great, wonderful people. Obviously, I've not met any of you, but I've had conversations through different outlets, either through the messages or comments on the videos, through messaging, through YouTube, or through some people through emails, through Facebook, just through whatever avenues we've connected. I have not connected with everyone, obviously. I would love to. I think that'd be fantastic. But some people are quiet or shy or just watch, and that's fine. That's absolutely great. But those of you that have reached out and are fostering and forming these, relationships, if you will, for lack of a better word, friendships, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. I'm very grateful for that. I appreciate it. I value it, and I'm very grateful for that. So it means a lot to me. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. So even if you're not one of those people that communicates with me, I still appreciate and value your presence here in the community, whether it's just a thumbs up or a share of the video, or even just a comment saying good job, or hey, I like this, or questions. As you can tell, and I say it every week, I really like the questions. I like to help people if I can. I'm not afraid to admit when I don't know the right answer, or excuse me, I don't want to say right answer, when I don't know an answer. And sometimes that happens where someone will ask a question, it's like, I don't know, I don't have any experience with that or whatever. I'm not afraid to admit that. I don't know everything. And I feel like, we can all learn from one another. And that's what, to me, is so wonderful and phenomenal about this, this whole community that we have. So, I'm a little, I guess, at a loss for words, if you will, which is unusual for me. For anybody that watches my videos, I usually have lots to say, and I do have a lot to say. But just on this subject, I'm just kind of, I'm just truly grateful and thankful and appreciative. I don't know how else to describe it or how else to explain it. It's making doing the videos that much more enjoyable, that much more fun. I look forward to when I get the time and chance to do one. I look forward to seeing, the comments that I'm going to get from people. Sometimes I wonder in my head who the first person is going to be, and then I always get thrown for a loop when it's somebody I didn't even expect. Possibly somebody that doesn't comment often or has never commented. So that happens, you know, and that's even cooler, you know, to be like, wow, you know, look, whatever struck a nerve in this video worked. So I'm going to keep this as short as I can tonight, guys. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. And I'm, you know, I sincerely mean that. Thank you to each and every one of you. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask through any way you want. You know, you can comment in this video, any of the other videos. So far, you know, my channel's not so big that I can't keep up with all the comments to the best of my knowledge, at least the comments that YouTube shows me. So I do my best to answer every one of those. Sometimes I might be a day late because sometimes I don't see them, which is weird. I usually get a notification, but I don't always. But you can get through me that way. You can message me through YouTube. I don't see those as often. YouTube does not give us notifications for those messages, but I do check it at least once a day. I'm pretty sure in my About page it has my email. You can email me anytime. There's also a link on my banner to the Facebook group, the page, not the group, excuse me, but to the Facebook page for Good Day Farm. I'm not super active on that. I'm more active in we have a group also. That's a little more active in there, but that's a, you know, public group, I guess, that, you know, you have to ask to join. The page, you just can like it. I'm trying to get better about posting stuff on there, but, you know, there's so much going on. But you can always post a question there. I do get notifications that way. And, you know, and so on and so forth. There's ways to reach me if you want to. If you don't want to, I understand, and that's fine. But I really enjoy and appreciate people's feedback and questions and comments and criticism, critiques, tips, whatever you want to call it. I'm a pretty easygoing guy, and I don't let very little gets to me. So, you know, I don't take offense to things. I'm pretty good at reading between the lines, pretty good at understanding what somebody's trying to say when they say something, and I don't automatically take, you know, the defensive approach or get all offended by a comment somebody makes. I try and look at it from like, oh, maybe they were just trying to say, hey, have you, you know, it's a suggestion or something. So anyhow, moving on from that, before I do, thank you, every one of you. I really, truly, I'm ecstatic. Love it. So thank you. Busy week. I was on overtime all this week at work, which is always hectic for me. It means I have to go in earlier than normal, and so that eats up my free time that I would have to do videos or anything like that. So not only shoot the videos, but to process them and edit them and get them uploaded. And you've all heard me talk about what a cumbersome process that can be because of my setup I have. So I shot a little bit of footage here and there when I could this week, and I hope to get some of that processed tomorrow and uploaded. But I didn't get a whole lot of content done this week because of the overtime. But, you know, we recovered from last week with the sewer and septic problems and the rain and the basement. So we're moving on, and boy, what a wonderful weekend. Weather was near perfect. Temperatures were, I didn't even check, but I know they had to be pushing 70 or even above. A little breezy at times, a little too windy, I guess, at times for some outdoor activities. If you're around dirt, you know, trying to do stuff like that, it got in your eyes. But other than that, perfect. So we got our chicks, got them in. Did not have a chance, and haven't got a new brood box built yet for them. So they're in the brood box that we've used for the last 3 or 4 years, which is fine. Works well for what we need to do. But I still want to build a new one based off of some ideas I have that I might make it a little easier for us and allow us to have more in there at a time. The problem with the brood box is, when they're little chicks, there's plenty of room, but as they got to stay in there for, you know, up to possibly 10 weeks, but hopefully 8 weeks with the weather. It starts to get a little crowded and messy, and you know, you're cleaning it like twice a day just to keep it clean and sanitary. So my goal would be to build a little different shape, a little longer and easier to reach in. It's a little tall, so it's hard for us to reach down in it to clean out and not get the chickens jumping out, you know, because here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, they're going to be hopping all over the place. So, but yeah, we got them excited. You know, after my last fiasco last year where it didn't work out and half the chickens showed up dead to the store, and then the ones I did get to bring home died on me overnight. No issues this time. We lost one, and I talked about that in the video. Contacted the store, no problems. We got a replacement, if you will, and so we're on track with replenishing or adding to our laying stock, and then I still plan to this year hopefully get an incubator and start hatching for our own, either to replace the laying stock or for raising meat birds. But we'll see how that goes, how time allows. Other than that, spent a good part of the day today. Finally got started splitting some firewood for the neighbor that, I cut all those trees. Several videos on my channel about that. Finally got attacking that. Spent a little over 3 hours over there today. Not all day. I have pretty much all next weekend open. I plan to spend a lot of time over there. We're gonna get that cleaned up as soon as we can. So now, the splitting's happening, and then he'll haul it over here to my place in his big converted dump wagon that he has that holds probably three pickup loads of wood. And so he'll dump it at my place, and then hopefully during the week I can get it stacked and out of the way. Go back that weekend, split some more. He'll haul it over to my place, and we'll just repeat that cycle till it's all gone. So that's feels good to be attacking that and getting that done. The sooner that's done, I can move on to other projects and pursue things, because then my weekends will be free. So there was something else I wanted to say. I can't think. I got some cool stuff in my mind that I'm working through, and hopefully over the next month we'll be able to start sharing with you guys. As far as I'm trying really hard to start sharpening chainsaw chains for, as a business, as a service for the public. I have some kinks I need to work out. We are kind of rural, obviously, where we're at, and I, because of my work schedule and Cindy's schedule, I really don't want people just popping in and out at the house. I wouldn't anyhow unless I was here all day long. Kind of like to stay private that way, if you understand what I mean. So trying to figure out, and if any of you guys have ideas on this, I'm trying to figure out a way to where I can promote that I'm doing this service, but I would have to basically do a drop off or meet the people right now. I can't have people coming to the home and waiting for me to sharpen the chains unless they do it, specifically at a certain time that works for my schedule, because I'm, up at a certain time taking care of the animals, and then I leave for work. So it doesn't leave me a lot of time. But if they can do a drop off, then I can do it when I get home from work, because we're in the shop space now. It's dark outside. It's well lit up in here, so I can work on stuff then. So I'm not sure how to do that. So years ago, when I used to have shops sharpen chains for me as a time thing, when I went, getting firewood, being busy all week, and I didn't want to take the time to hand file them, I would drop them off at my shop that I went to, and then just pick them up the following week on my way back out to go get firewood. Like when I came home, from getting wood, I would drop off the 4 or 5 chains that I had, and then I'd pick them back up the next week, because I've always taken sharp chains with me when I go somewhere to cut wood, and I very rarely sharpen chains when I'm out cutting firewood. I'll just swap for a new chain. Probably learned that from my dad, from being, he was a logger on the West Coast, and fallers and stuff typically don't mess around with sharpening their chains a whole lot in the field. They take them home and do them. So I know I don't have a problem with it. Tell me, would you? If you were a chainsawer and you want to drop your chains off, would you rather wait for them? How comfortable would you feel about meeting somebody? Right now I'm thinking about just advertising like through Craigslist, and so it would be like, meet at a local, say Home Depot in the parking lot, kind of like how you do when you make purchases from people off Craigslist. And I'm going to take your chains from you, and I'll meet you back there tomorrow and give them back to you. Even in my own head, that sounds a little iffy. So I don't know if how people would go for that. I've done stuff like that. I've dropped chainsaws off with guys in a parking lot to have them work on and rebuild, and never had an issue. So, but could. So I see the potential there. So if you guys have some ideas on that, I'd love to hear them. But I'm working on doing some stuff to help really push that and get it going. Like I've said before, I always approach things pretty slow. I don't just jump. I'm not a big risk taker, so I take my time and really. Sometimes I talk myself out of stuff, but I really just, want to make sure I have all the angles worked out and figured out before I just go and do something. So I'm getting the shop basically pretty much set up so I can grind if somebody needs that, and I've got more than one way to hand file in a productive manner. Or production manner, I guess is the word I'm looking for, not productive. They're all productive, right? So in a way that, wouldn't be too time consuming. I can do it off the bar, on the bar. So I'm getting all these little things set up in the shop space here so that I can do that type of work. So whatever the customer wants, if they are adamant and they want their chains hand filed, I can do that for them, and I can do it very precise and consistent and give them phenomenal results. It, I plan on charging a couple dollars more for that. If they just want them ground like normal, then I can grind them also. I'm pretty proficient with the grinder now, and I've learned how to use it better than the shops that I have experience with in the past, and better than what I hear people experiencing. You drop your chain shop, or you take your chains into a typical shop to have them sharpened. They get sharp. I'll give them credit there. They typically do a decent job as far as getting the angles right, but they grind way too much off. And partly I think that's because they don't care, and they're not their chains, so they just do what's easiest, and they don't take the time to really look at each tooth and figure out, how much they need to take off. And then they also, depending on the wheel they use, can overheat the tooth, and you'll see bluing on your teeth when you get your chain back, and that's not a good thing. So I've proven to myself anyhow that I can do better than that, and I do better than that. So that's a service that I want to be able to offer, and for me this is a start into a much broader, bigger home-based services that I want to be able to offer. Not really thinking about getting into repairing saws, but I definitely want to get into the kind of the firewood side of things. So chainsaw maintenance, if you will, chains, bars, things like that, splitters, the firewood itself, the different splitting axes and mauls, those kind of things. I kind of in my mind have an idea, 5-10 years from now where I'd like to be with that for an at-home business. So anyhow, that's one thing that's I feel like is going to happen here pretty soon as far as the chains. Did some maintenance with our goats. Our pastures we turned the goats out all weekend for a couple hours a day. We never just full force let them out when spring comes, simply because the grass can be too rich, and they're coming off of months of eating nothing but hay. It can be pretty rough. Same with the horses, pretty rough on their digestive tract. It wouldn't necessarily hurt them, I don't think. Maybe the horses, depending on how deep the grass was, if they overate. But it can upset their stomachs and give them diarrhea and things like that. Then that can lead to issues like dehydration or whatever. So we always wean them into that. Same thing if we change hay in the middle of winter. If we have to all of a sudden change suppliers, if we didn't have enough to get through the year, you try and get the new supply early so you can mix it in and do a little at a time so that the different grasses don't shock them and cause issues. So we got to let them out a few each day, a little bit. We'll continue that probably through this week, and then they'll be back on schedule where they just get let out every morning, and they bring themselves in at night, and we just go close them up. So that's a good thing for us. I mean, spring is definitely getting here. This is the easy maintenance time for the animals. Everything gets easier in the spring. Don't have to, or in the summer. The good weather months. Don't have to take hay out. The water's easier because we set the hose up this weekend. So now all we have to do is use a hose. We don't have to carry buckets, except for the goats, and that's just because of location. But they're easy. They take a couple gallons at best, so it's not like 25 gallons a day for the horses. So anyhow, that's exciting. We got some of that going. Basically shut the wood stove down. I think it's probably down for the year. We're done, or for the season. I have been letting it go out or almost out during the day, and then it had enough coals in it to fire it back up overnight because we were still getting into the 30s overnight. But I think we may only have 1 or 2 days of that left, and if we do, we can just use the electric heaters. There's no point in keeping that big old stove and the water heated on days like today when we don't need it. So I think we're done with that for the year. The one thing we didn't get to that I really wanted to do was get our seed starts done in our new grow table lights section. We actually were planning to do that last weekend, and we had all the issues with the water damage and stuff down in the basement. And then we had these things that we did this weekend. We just felt we had to get these done because of the weather. We had the opportunity. And so next weekend, I think we'll be able to get the seed started. We'll still be okay time-wise to get them in the ground, once the starts come up. So that'll be some good content for you guys to see, and we're going to learn together on that. And, we're not very experienced with that kind of stuff, so we'll figure that out together. So, other than that, this is the good time of year for us here on the farm. So, I'm going to go ahead and go. I've ran a little bit longer than I planned to. I'm tired. Probably can tell in the video there. Just busy weekend, busy week. So, all that just catches up to me. So, one last thing. As far as the downloading videos and editing hassles that I've been having, I did get, actually we had a large external hard drive. Cindy had one that when we moved, we haven't been able to find it, and I've been wanting to get that to try and make some room on my computer. And we found that this week, actually last weekend. And so I spent all week, when I had time, here, a little there, getting some files moved around and stored on that hard drive, and freed up a bunch of space on my computer. So I haven't processed the video yet, but I think it will go much quicker now, so that will be better. That will help me. I can't do anything about the internet. We're basically as good as we're going to get for now on that. We have the best service that we can get, so uploads will still take a little bit, but the actual editing may go quicker now. And then now I have a place to store those instead of deleting them. I've been deleting every one of these videos after I upload them. The only place they exist is on YouTube. So now I'll have them on my hard drive, and I can go back to them and pull clips out if I want to make little montages or whatever, which is something I want to be able to do down the road. So exciting stuff. We're just continuing to do what we do, and I'll just keep sharing what I can with you guys, and you know, keep asking me questions. You share with me. You know the routine. So thanks again, everyone. I'm going to sign off now, and I hope you all have a great week coming up. And just take care, be safe, whatever you're doing out there. And remember, it's always a good day on the farm. Bye now.